We stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance, and two other announcements before we do that. I'd just like to remember the Thomas Garner family. Thomas was the principal at Salem Avenue Elementary School, took ill, collapsed, and passed away there at the school on Friday. I think it was Friday afternoon. So our hearts and prayers go out to not only the family, but to the other school and administrators and teachers and the students there at Salem Avenue School. And with that, I'm going to ask that Rabbi Mark Perryman from B'nai Abraham give the invocation here this morning.
Dear God, please bless the work of these commissioners as they seek to do the work to build and nurture our community, helping the residents of our city to cope with their challenges and live here in peace, in safety, and successfully. Help them to navigate their differences, be responsive to the public, and withstand criticism, both justified and uncalled for. Help them remain strong and healthy so that they may serve to the best of their abilities. And let us say these words in your name, O God. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. With that, I'll ask for a motion for approval of the minutes of September the 9th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Motion and second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving right on into commissioners' reports and comments. Commissioner Wagner, would you like to go first?
Good morning. I don't have a whole lot today. I wanted to thank all the staff of Washington County and the training center for putting together the MDOT meeting we had this past week. I think it was constructive. I think they took our input, and hopefully something will come of it. But I do want to thank everybody. That was quite an undertaking, and it was a great turnout, and it went very well. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Leatherman?
Well, thank you. Just two items this morning I wanted to speak on. Saturday morning, the 11th, I was able to assist the Clear Spring Historical Association on a property that they're working on to save, if you would, at 11,818 Greencastle Pike. It's really interesting property. The home was built in 1792. And it is a log structure, obviously. The barn is what's referred to as a ground barn, unlike the bank barns that we've grown accustomed to in the county. And it is also log. What is amazing is the condition of the logs in both structures are in remarkably good shape. So the current owner of the property is AC&T, the Fulton family, and they are being very cooperative with the Clear Spring Historical Society and preserving both of those structures. Now, they're going to have to be moved, but they are working with them. And so I just a shout out to both Clear Spring Historical Society and to the Fulton family for cooperating and preserving our history and allowing them to document, disassemble, and move both of these structures. So it's a really big deal, and I was pleased to be able to participate with them. Secondly, Friday the 10th, the Washington County Farm Bureau had their 102nd annual banquet. 102 years they've been having a banquet, and it was Brian Forsyth, who's the current president of the Farm Bureau, was recognized as Member of the Year. This guy's relentless in his participation in our farming activities in the county. Just a really fine gentleman. There's always a behind-the-scenes story, and my wife and I were sitting at a table with a gentleman by the name of Fred. His wife's name was Joanne, last name Smith, and we got to talking to them, and they're about a fourth-generation beekeeping family, and you go, tell us the rest of the story. Well, the rest of the story is this family is maintaining over 500 beehives over a four-state area. Pretty significant. Great family, turning out a great product. Just once again, thank you for your service and your provisions to the county residents. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Harvey?
Thank you, President Barr. The Maryland Department of Transportation meeting was interesting. Our staff was very well prepared, and it's very clear to me that the state understands the issues here, and our staff has done an exceptional job in making sure they understand the issues, whether it's I-81 or safety issues along roads or other intersections, the impact of the Conacajig Bridge construction, et cetera, et cetera. I've come away from each of those meetings over the last 3 years with a perception that there isn't going to be much change, however, or any aggressive action to address our very real needs here. And I think that's going to be the way it is going forward for some time. Hopefully it's not, but I do think that's the way it's going to go. Randy, you were in the Navy, weren't you?
Coast Guard.
Close enough. The 250th anniversary of the United States Navy, okay, was yesterday. And so congratulations to everyone who served in the Navy. 250 years, and we have a lot of veterans here in our county. And then the day before was the anniversary of the USS Cole bombing, and 17 people were killed, sailors were killed, and 39 wounded. I was in the service working the Middle East at the time. It was quite a shock to have Al-Qaeda do that. I want to thank, our local families, families of Roy and Wibberley. And I want to thank people like Jeff Klein, who every year make a point of highlighting that sacrifice. And we can't forget it because, those two brave individuals gave up their all for America. And, they were from our community. So point of recognition for that. And I know Jeff will have more to say on that. And then lastly, I was at the Farm Bureau too. We also awarded the Farm of the Year, again, to make sure everyone had recognition of that. In that farmhouse, the barn, we're looking at moving that to the Ag Center, if it can fit in there, and those details are having to be worked out. But the County Historical Advisory Commission is working closely with Clear Spring, and the Clear Spring chairman of their History Association is also on the county board for that. So that's a lot of good work being done there. And today is also, lastly, the National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. It would have been his 32nd birthday today, but he was struck down in a political assassination 34 days ago. Charlie was an exceptional Christian leader, a patriot, a teacher who celebrated and spread the ideas of Christianity, and importantly, the very important of the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and making sure people understood it, how our founding fathers thought about America. And he did this affably, genuinely, respectfully, in encouraging dialogue, in good faith debate, in an effort to educate and spread the word and to grow the Christian community. It's a sad day, and I hope it gets recognized every year going forward because he was so important. And then I think with that, I will end. I've taken a lot of time.
Okay,
Thank you.
Commissioner Klein?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Again, thanks to our staff for the MDOT presentation, very well presented by all our department heads. We did take the time in the question and comment period to emphasize the need for better work around these construction sites for the detours. And prior to the meeting, I had an opportunity to briefly speak to the secretary and the District's 6 director and reminded them how important it is to have these detours well planned out in advance so we're not overwhelming all those side roads. And we also asked for some money to help us maintain those side roads that are being destroyed by all this traffic and the detours on the Conococheague Bridge. But overall, they seem receptive, but for 25 years, the county's been asking for money for 81, so it might be our grandchildren that might see that work completed. Not to be pessimistic, but for over 20 years, we've been asking. I also attended the Washington County Farm Bureau 102nd meeting. I was there 2 years ago at the 100th meeting. It was a grand event, and it's great to see the farm community gathered there for a celebration. I also attended the Big Brothers Big Sisters annual awards ceremony honoring Big Sister and Big Brother of the Year. Congratulations to the Big Brother of the Year, Zach Jamison, and congratulations to Big Sister of the Year, Jenny Rupenthal. I also attended the 4-H open house down at the Ag Center last week. It was National 4-H Week, and the local leaders told me they have 250 young folks enrolled in their local program here. So that's quite an accomplishment, and they're still recruiting. There were some business anniversaries that I attended. Ernst Market celebrated 80 years. 40 West Deli celebrated 3 years. Ruth Market and Williamsport celebrated their first-year anniversary, and Branded Chop House celebrated their second anniversary. So congratulations to all of them, and if I've missed any anniversaries, please send me a reminder. I also attended the Apple Fest Rural Heritage Museum. The theme was, of course, apples, but they highlighted the rural village, which mentioned where this facility, that barn, may be relocated. They've done a great job. You get in there and walk into history in some of the buildings that are there. I also attended the open house for the Clear Spring new fire department. They're showing their new tanker, and also attended Fair Play Community Days, which the fire department also was displaying all the fire equipment and booths for safety and fire safety for the community. But I want to go back to the, I don't know if you want to call it an anniversary, but USS Cole on October 12th, 2000, 17 people were murdered and 2 local boys. And I remember the day after that being at Williamsport High School at the homecoming football game, and they went for a moment of silence for the USS Cole and the 2 local boys, and there were tears and people and really grieving over that announcement. And I'd like to say I've been to all 25 October 12th with the family. I probably missed 1 or 2, but I was there with Mr. Wibberley, and he was sharing stories about, well, it's not nice to hear that some of the stories, the way this happened, let's put it that way. But I'd like to suggest that the commissioner consider, I'm not going to ask for it today, a consensus that we name every October 12th as USS Cole, Remember the Cole Day, in honor of that tragedy. So if you would put some thinking into that, we could come back and make every October 12th Remember the Cole, USS Cole. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Klein. Well stated. For me, it's been a tough 3 weeks, I should say. 3 weeks ago today, I left here abruptly. I came to work that morning feeling very ill, and I guess my excuse for that is growing up on a farm as a kid, you never choked out because you didn't feel good. You had chores to do and things that had to be taken care of, and you went to work. And so I would just like to say thank you to my fellow commissioners and to the county staff, and even to, I'll single Dawn out because Dawn pushed me out the back door and said, "You don't look good." And so that kind of started the free fall. So I spent 3 days at Meredith, and I want to just say what a great experience that was. They took good care of me, and I am on the mends, Lord willing, and I've missed a few things here the past 3 weeks, but it wasn't because it was not for lack of care or concern, but I've just been trying to regroup and recharge my batteries and get back to things as normal. And with that said, I know that for me personally, it's kind of like the calm before the storm. As many of you know, I serve as a board member of Maryland Association of Counties, and the association in Annapolis, which represents all 24 jurisdictions. We will be extremely busy come the 1st of November. We'll have our fall conference. We'll have our winter annual meetings in early December, and then when the session starts in January, MACO is on full court press, and we'll be in Annapolis weekly and monitoring what is happening through the 90-day session, monitoring probably 500 or so of the very most important and highly visible bills that are dropped in Annapolis. So it'll be a busy time coming here before and after the holidays. So again, thanks to staff that helped me through that day and to get me to the hospital. And I was just very taken by everyone's concern and assistance through all that. So again, thank you. With that, we'll move right into staff comments, and Michelle Gordon, our County Administrator.
Thank you. It's been a very busy few weeks. I do have one change to the agenda before I get into my staff comments. Item number 20, which is a letter of support, will be moved to a later date. Staff is not ready to present that today. I attended the MACO County Administrators Conference where we discussed our 2026 legislative priorities and an overview of things that likely will be coming down the pipeline. Things that will most likely come up are surrounding energy issues in the state of Maryland, state budgetary issues for the upcoming session. As a result of those budgetary issues, we will likely see more shifts of funding onto local governments. For education, for the blueprint for education mandates. We'll see shifts from the health department due to new growth formula that's allocating more dollars to local government. We will likely start to see reductions in highway user revenue. They are asking for a hold harmless. There is highway user revenue for county is set to expire on in fiscal year 27. So fiscal year 28, we'll start to see reductions in the highway user revenue again if they don't grant us an extension of that. We also discussed the need for additional policies related to AI or artificial intelligence, and we discussed general HR and legal issues related to liabilities for employees. I did take a tour of the recently completed bridge replacement at Swope Road. That bridge project was handled by our Highways Department. They did an incredible job. They knocked that out in about 3 months at a considerable savings to the county. I'd like to recognize the employees that worked on that. And those were Tyler Price, Matt Miller, Michael Sprecher, John Divelbliss, Brandon Malk, Sam Stauffer, Christy Line, Lance Hopkins, and Eric Durr, and I'd like to thank them for the incredible job they did. I attended an advisory board meeting for University System of Maryland here at the Hagerstown campus. I also attended Recruit Class 6 and 7 Firefighter Academy graduation, and I'd like to congratulate those employees and wish them good luck as they start or continue their careers here at Washington County. I attended the ribbon cutting for DM Bowman Workforce Training Center, where the county has contributed $2.5 million towards this project. It's a great asset here in Washington County. It provides training in the skilled trades sectors and an opportunity for electrical, mechanical, and engineering degrees. I also traveled to Garrett County to meet with Tri-County Council and my Western Maryland counterparts, who are county administrators, just to touch base with them. I also attended our Emergency Preparedness Expo. I'd like to thank our staff in engineering, particularly Cody Swope, in emergency management, particularly Cody Swope, for coordinating this event. It was very well attended. It's a great community event. I attended several other meetings with state and local partners regarding economic development and other community initiatives. I attended the Washington County Community Coalition meeting to discuss our 2026 legislative priorities. I'd like to thank our staff in engineering, Monica Lindsay, and our other staff who coordinated the MDOT Consolidated Transportation Program meeting. At this meeting, we did discuss the county's transportation priorities for the upcoming budget year for the state's CTP. Some of those priorities included I-70 interchanges and bridges, and some of that work is being completed now. Of course, one of those was also I-81, funding for design and engineering for phases 3 and 4 of widening Interstate 81 from 4 lanes to 6 lanes. Currently, there is funding in the CTP for phase 2, which will extend I-81 from 4 lanes to 6 lanes up to about Halfway Boulevard from the West Virginia line. We did address traffic issues that are resulting from having Route 40 closed at the Conococheague Creek, and the issues that it's causing to traffic in the on county roads when there are traffic problems on I-70 and I-81. As a result of those discussions, they did implement some changes to the traffic patterns on I-70 at Route 68 there in Clear Spring to try to correct and address some of the issues that they've been having with increased wrecks. Some of the other CTP projects that we talked about was the need for a replacement air traffic control tower at our Hagerstown Regional Airport. Our air traffic control tower is too short and it's outdated, and we'd need a replacement tower. We talked about the need for upgrades and expansions of our Washington County Transit facility to support future growth, and we talked about state bridge replacements for Route 11 in Williamsport and Route 522 in Hancock. Last but not least, I wanted to congratulate our halfway EMS employees. We did complete the halfway EMS transition that took place yesterday, and I'd like to welcome them to county employment. We welcomed 12 new full-time medics to provide a 24-hour medic shift and a 12-hour dayside medic shift. Our next meeting is October the 21st, and that's everything that I have.
Okay, thank you. The next item is a public hearing scheduled for 9:30. Take a recess.
Let's take,
Unless you want to see if Travis wants to present number 2, then just wait till after.
let's take a quick recess.
Okay. And at this time is 9:30. We'll move right into the public hearing that's scheduled for 9:30. Next on the agenda is a public hearing concerning a proposed zoning map amendment, RZ 25-006. The purpose of this hearing is to hear public testimony concerning the matter. The procedure is as follows. Staff will introduce the matter. Next, the applicant will present their application and evidence. The applicant has the burden of proving change or mistake. Following the presentation, the hearing will be open for public comment and testimony. Each speaker will be then given a maximum of 3 minutes to testify. Testimony that is not relevant to the subject matter of the public hearing or that is repetitive, disruptive, disturbing, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the public hearing will not be tolerated. Unauthorized remarks, loud noises, whistles, yells, or similar disruptions from the gallery shall not be permitted. Anyone who fails to follow these rules forfeits their opportunity to testify and will be asked to return to their seat or leave the meeting room as deemed appropriate by the board. After everyone who wishes to speak has done so, the hearing will close. There shall be no donating or pooling of time to allow any one person to speak longer than 3 minutes. After everyone who wishes to speak has done so, the hearing will close. The commissioners may then discuss the issue and provide direction to staff. Would anyone who will be testifying today please stand for the oath of office?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm, under the penalties of perjury, that the responses given and the statements made will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on Travis Allen, Senior Planner, Department of Planning and Zoning, who will now introduce the matter. Travis, you have the floor.
Good morning, Commissioners. As noted, we're here to take public comment and testimony on piecemeal rezoning map amendment RZ 25-006. The applicant, Fast Gas Company, is looking to rezone 3 properties totaling .891 acres located at Virginia Avenue and Brookmead Circle from residential transition to highway interchange. The existing conditions of these properties, 2 out of the 3 parcels, those located on Virginia Avenue, contain single-family homes. I'm assuming at this point they are likely vacant. 1 parcel, the one located at Brookmead Circle, is unimproved except for 5 truck parking spaces at the western end. All these properties are owned by the same entity which owns the nearby AC&T store. In piecemeal rezoning cases, the local legislative body is tasked with presenting findings of fact based upon criteria that are defined in Article 27.3 of the zoning ordinance. Those criteria include population change in the district, the availability of public facilities, present and future transportation patterns, the compatibility with existing and proposed development, the relationship to the comprehensive plan, and evidence as to whether there's been a change in the character of the neighborhood since the time of the last comprehensive zoning plan or a mistake made at that same time. Both of these judged, in this case, since the 2012 urban growth area rezoning. Those criteria are analyzed in greater depth in the staff report, but I'm going to touch on some of them just briefly here in my opening remarks. First, in terms of public facilities, water and sewer are both available to these sites. Water is provided by the city of Hagerstown, whereas the sewer is provided by the county. Next, in terms of compatibility with existing and proposed development, in terms of zoning in the vicinity of these properties again are zoned RT currently. That zoning designation matches the land uses predominantly to the east of this site, which are also RT. North of the site, there is a block of residential multifamily properties. And then southwest of this property in the immediate vicinity, you have a bunch of planned industrial along Governor Lane Boulevard. Land use follows along those zoning notes that I made just a moment ago. So again, to the east, the Tammany and Van Leer subdivisions predominate those residential land uses to the east. Brookmead Apartments are located immediately to the north. Along Governor Lane Boulevard, you first encounter the Homewood Retirement Community and many different industrial businesses along Governor Lane Boulevard. And then as you get west of the interchange, you encounter a number of commercial uses before entering into the town of Williamsport. The applicant is requesting the highway interchange zoning district for these properties. That district is defined in the zoning ordinance as being to provide suitable locations for commercial activities or light industrial land uses that serve highway travelers, provide goods and services to a regional population, or uses that have a need to be located near the interstate highway system. Looking next at the relationship to the comprehensive plan, in the 2002 comprehensive plans, land use plan, these properties were designated as low-density residential, but I want to make a note that in our recently adopted comprehensive plan update, that designation was changed, and now at this point, they have been designated highway interchange in the land use plan, so the request that they're making is now in conformance with what our current land use plan is. Next, kind of the crux of these piecemeal rezoning cases, the change or mistake rule. So offering evidence whether there has been a substantial change in the character of the neighborhood since the time of the last comprehensive zoning plan. Again, this case we are judging from the 2012 urban growth area rezoning, or a mistake made at that same time in 2012. In this case, the applicant is claiming that there has been a mistake made in the zoning at that time. Do be aware that there's a strong presumption that the current zoning is correct. The applicant does bear the burden of proof, but proof, even if offered, doesn't require the body to approve the rezoning. In mistake cases, the applicant should offer evidence that the local legislative body did one of the following, leading to a mistake. Failed to take into account projects or trends probable of fruition, made decisions based upon erroneous information, used facts that later proved to be incorrect, couldn't have foreseen events that have occurred in the time since, or ignored facts and evidence at the time of zoning application. In this case, the applicant in their justification statement in their packet claims that the local legislative body failed to fully consider the inconsistent application of the HI-1 zoning classification to properties located on Virginia Avenue between I-81 Exit 2 and Hoffman Drive, which is located immediately east of these properties, with the repeal of the HI-2 zoning classification in 2012. Some of those properties at that time in 2012 were reassigned to HI, some of them were reassigned to RT. It's their contention that they believe the properties west of Hoffman Drive should have all been HI, while those east of that road should have been RT due to the differing nature, commercial versus residential, on the east or west side of Hoffman Drive. To put into context a little bit of that contention and that zoning history of these properties, prior to 2012, again, these properties were zoned HI-2. HI-2 was intended to serve as a transitional zone in between HI-1 zones and nearby residential areas. Typically, HI-1 zones were designated on lands closest to highway interstate interchanges. HI-2 zones then buffered the adjacent lands beyond those in the vicinity of the interchanges. HI-2 allowed low-intensity business and industrial uses, but also residential development at varying densities, so it was a bit of a catch-all district at that time. Then in 2012, with the comprehensive rezoning of the urban growth area, these properties were eventually changed to highway interchange, HI. The HI-2 zoning district was eliminated during that comprehensive rezoning in 2012, while HI-1 was eliminated in 2013 with the town growth area comprehensive rezoning that came in the aftermath. So with the elimination of HI-1 and HI-2, that left only the standalone HI district that we currently have today, which now had a solely commercial or industrial focus and no longer permitted any residential development of any kind. So residential properties that were formerly under that HI-2 zoning were reassigned in some cases to the RT zoning, which now encumbers the properties currently. So why RT versus HI in 2012? I'll state up front that there's nothing definitive in the rezoning file from that time that calls out these properties definitively and says why they were rezoned to RT versus HI. Logic does offer some likelihood as to what occurred at that time, and that is in particular the properties on Virginia Avenue. At the time, those were individually owned single-family homes, and it was only later that the applicant purchased these properties. So not wanting to make those non-conforming uses for properties that were, again, owned by individual single-family homeowners at that time, likely they were given that residential zoning classification. Parcel 766, the one located at Brookmead Circle, was unimproved at that time, so it was likely given RT due to its close proximity to the adjacent residential neighborhoods just on the other side of Hoffman Drive, in the absence of a owner request for something different at the time. So to kind of wrap things up here, that's the crux of what some of staff's research, which is included in the staff report, sort of uncovered over time, is likely the ownership played a big role in why these were rezoned to RZ at the time. And so given that ownership at the time, it makes it difficult to call what occurred in 2012 a mistake, but it should be noted that circumstances have certainly changed since what was happening in 2012. Ownership of many formerly single-family parcels on the north side of Virginia Avenue near the interchange has changed since 2012, and many are now owned by commercial entities, including these three subject properties. It is staff's view that a mixing of commercial and residential land uses is likely the logical future for a lot of the radial transportation routes that lead out from the city of Hagerstown, such as Virginia Avenue. So the task for the board is to kind of weigh that overall trajectory as it plays out in the future with the potential impact of an HI expansion onto those nearby residential areas. Again, I remind the board that with the recent update of our comprehensive plan, the request of HI is now consistent with our current land use plan, but staff does advise that decision makers carefully consider the wide range of land uses permitted under the HI zoning requested for the compatibility with the neighborhood that surrounds this site. Land use desired by the current property owner may not always remain the same over time under the flexibility that is allowed under the HI zoning. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this proposed request at their public information meeting. At that meeting, we did receive 3 oral public comments in opposition to the request due to concerns about their impacts on the adjacent residential areas near Hoffman Drive due to expanded operations of the AC&T. And that concludes my remarks.
Okay. Next, we will hear from the applicant.
Good morning. Jason Dybelbus here on behalf of Fast Gas Company, the applicant, and I have been sworn in. Travis did an excellent job of orienting you to the property in the context of the particular request. I want to provide just a little bit more information. These 3 properties, as Travis pointed out, are less than an acre in size in the aggregate. So it's a very small parcel that's the subject of this request. As Travis pointed out, they are adjacent to the existing AC&T gas station and convenience store, which has been there for at least 50 years or so. The AC&T folks have owned and operated since 1983, and it was a Gulf oil station before that. So this use and these property owners have been in the neighborhood for quite a while. The store currently operates on 4 separate parcels in the area. Believe it or not, it looks like one property, but there's actually 4 parcels there. With an eye toward modernizing the store, in recent years they've acquired 2 additional parcels, 2 of which are the subject of the request here this morning, and 1 they've owned for quite a while and has been used for parking, even though it maintained that RT residential zoning. So the 3 parcels currently zoned RT. The request is to have them rezoned to HI, as Travis pointed out. Travis also pointed out that for some reason, when this area was rezoned in 2012, the line between the residential and the commercial districts in the area was sort of drawn right in the middle of this block, which lies sort of between the interstate and between the intersection of Hoffman Drive and Virginia Avenue, or Route 11, and then Governor Boulevard's on the other side. Historically, those properties, the whole way down to Hoffman Drive, have been zoned consistently. And for some reason in 2012, there was a line drawn in the middle. Essentially, the request here is to move that line a little bit closer to Hoffman Drive. In all honesty, maybe it should be the whole way to Hoffman Drive, but we don't have the authority to request on behalf of the last property, so we can only request for the two to the west and the one to the north. The two primary baseline criteria to establish a rezoning, Travis pointed out the first, which is that the applicant needs to demonstrate either a change in the character of the neighborhood or a mistake in the original zoning. In this case, it's the 2012 rezoning of the parcels. Not much has changed in the character of the neighborhood. It's been pretty well established and stable for quite a long time. But we would assert that a mistake was made. Now, a mistake doesn't mean it was just the wrong decision. It means there were certain facts and criteria that were not taken into account in 2012 when the zoning designations were selected for these properties. Particularly, we would assert that the influence of the transportation corridor, Virginia Avenue, to a certain extent, Governor Lane Boulevard as well, and certainly the interstate, was not adequately taken into account. The impact of those transportation corridors and the level of traffic thereon certainly indicates that perhaps commercial zoning designation should have been given to all these properties along the frontage of Virginia Avenue. Even the residential in the closest proximity to these properties, being the Brookmead Apartments and Homewood, still has a very dense commercial type feeling. So those are the criteria that we believe that were not taken into account sufficiently in 2012 when these three properties were given residential rather than commercial designation. The second criteria is simply that the requested zoning classification is logical and appropriate for the area. That one seems to be rather self-evident, again, given the mixed-use nature of the area, the well-established commercial uses directly adjacent to these properties. Interstate 81 is only a quarter of a mile away. The properties are located within the growth area. They have existing water sewer services. I pointed out the level of traffic here. For all these reasons, the requested HI is not out of character and is certainly logical and appropriate for these three properties. The last 2 points I would make are 2 points that Travis made earlier, but I want to reiterate, is that when the Planning Commission heard and considered this request in July, they unanimously recommended approval. And all three of these properties are recommended for a commercial land use classification in the newly adopted comprehensive plan. And the HI zoning requested here today is consistent with that designation in the comp plan. And with that, thank you.
Thank you. We will now open the hearing for public comment. Anyone wishing to come forward?
Oh, we have a sign-up list.
Oh, you have the sign-up list? Okay. Okay. First up is Curtis Ray.
Hello, I'm Curtis Ray. I'm running for County Commissioner for 2026. The reason I'm here today is I was actually looking over this zoning amendment, and it seems that a majority of the land that they're acquisitioning is single-family homes, and if you keep going in that direction, it just spirals into more single-family homes. So this actually comes down to an issue that's actually happening all across America, is that businesses are buying up these single-family homes, they're restricting the housing market, and it is causing a downfall in our housing market in general. So what I don't understand is, why not just leave it a gas station? Why are you acquiring these land parcels? My theory is why they're acquiring these land parcels is because they're going to change it from a gas station to some other heavy industrial site. And what I would ask you all to ask real quick is if they can put a septic and porta pot company on that property. And the reason I say that is because I believe with heavy industrial zoning, they would be legally allowed to. And it is right next to a very large amount of residential. Okay, there's a reason that we cut it where it was because if you just keep going a little bit further, like I'm talking a couple hundred feet, it is nothing but residential. But if you go the other side, the side that they're not acquisitioning, it is like open farmland. They could easily just acquire that, go into that area, and then move whatever business they want to be there. I don't mind the gas station being there, but it's when you start acquiring these other parcels that it makes me think that you're going to try and get a larger scaled operation there that is not entirely going to be gas based. And that is very alarming to me. And then you have all already had people come in and talk to you that they are not for this. And I guarantee you it's the residential owners in that area because they see what's coming on the horizon. And then on another note, I also think you guys should get rid of commissioner comment and staff comment until you bring back public comment. There's no reason that you all should be allowed to speak while we are easily stifled. It's not germane, I understand. Forgive me, I fell off for a second. I'm getting back to the topic. And because of that, I also think that you guys are cowards, sons of bitches, and stop being assholes.
Mr. Ray, please leave.
I'll take my seat. I'll take my seat.
You were asked to leave.
Please leave these chambers.
Sir, why can't you say your stuff without doing that? Because what you said was great. It was very intelligent.
Okay. Order in the room. Okay. Next up is Sean Porter.
I have to correct my name for the record. I was just informed by the guy dressed up like a fucking penguin over there that my name is actually the Mob.
Mr. Porter, enough.
Enough what? I can use any
You're off
language I want talking about this change.
Mr. Porter, please show respect.
Hey, Rabbi, I'm not a Jew. I'm a Catholic. Mind your business.
You want me to call Father Jarbo? He can talk to you about showing
I don't know Father Jarbo. How many kids have you molested?
Okay.
Why don't you stop the outburst from the audience, John? That's your job.
I'm going to take a recess and clear the whole room.
Okay.
And with that, this concludes the public comment portion of the hearing. And Commissioners, do you have any questions for staff or the applicant? Any questions, concerns, thoughts? Hearing none, the public hearing is now concluded. Commissioners, your comments and deliberation. Anyone?
First off, thank you, staff, because you gave us a tremendous amount of information here, very well put together. Could you refresh us all, including the people that are listening, what the input was from the three parties that made comments, submitted comments about the rezoning or reclassification?
Yeah, again, just in a general sense, they were concerned that, you know, as the commercial operation encroaches closer to the neighborhoods that are on the east side of Hoffman Drive, they're concerned about, you know, noise, traffic, those sorts of things, penetrating further into that residential neighborhood.
Okay.
Just for clarification, it was .891 acres, right?
Correct. The three together are just under 9/10 of an acre.
Okay. Any motion or?
I have motion to support as presented.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, ready to vote? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Travis.
Well, I think you stay there. I
Nice
guess.
presentation.
Yep, you got the next one. Okay. Next agenda item under tab 2 is the discussion and consensus vote application for zoning text amendment RZ 25-005 accessory dwelling units. Travis?
Sorry, Travis, just real quick. President Barr, excuse me the interruption, but county staff will bring back the written decision for formal approval at hopefully the next meeting, but at a later meeting.
Or the previous? Okay,
For the public hearing today.
okay, thank you.
All right, so you may recall on August 25th, we had a public hearing in which we presented a text amendment which amends several different sections of the zoning ordinance to allow accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, in many different locations throughout the county. These amendments included standards regulating the location, number, size, and type of this new housing subtype. Definitions were newly proposed or amended for multiple dwelling unit types to better marry zoning standards with building code definitions. And so we're here this morning to discuss those proposed amendments further, hopefully reach a consensus on whether to approve or deny them, amending the zoning ordinance. And I would also make note of the fact that, you know, in the time that we have put together these amendments, State of Maryland has recently passed legislation which requires counties to authorize the development of ADUs on land which allows single-family detached dwellings by October 1st of 2026. So this is our effort to meet that now statewide requirement.
Good. Any discussion?
Yeah, Travis, the ADU maximum size that is recommended, the staff recommended 1,000 square feet originally. And you set up recommended also some proportionality that it couldn't be, the ADU couldn't be any larger than 75% of the dwelling that's already there. Is that correct?
Yes, so the standard is, get the exact wording here. So the standard is 75% of the gross floor area of the primary dwelling unit, or under staff's original proposal, it was 1,000 square feet of gross floor area. The Planning Commission in the deliberation recommended 1,500 square feet. So the first part of that would remain the same, but it would be up to 1,500 square feet under the Planning Commission's recommendations.
And that's whichever is less. So 75% of the gross floor area or 1,500 square feet. So that would make 1,500 square feet the maximum.
And do you know what the rationale was for 1,500 square feet? I live in, my primary residence is 1,485 square feet, something like that. And I have 3 kids and.
I think some of it had to do with, you know, anecdotal experience of some of the planning commission members with things like garage conversions, where some of those, in some cases, may happen to be larger than 1,000 square feet. So they felt like maybe in some cases, you might need a little extra space, is kind of the way that I took it at the time during the public information meeting.
Which numbers have you?
I'm sorry, what was
Which
that?
numbers in comparison have you seen some of the other counties doing in square feet?
So generally, for the most part, the 1,000 square feet was in accordance with what we saw best practices around the rest of the state. I will say that, you know, in other cases, we saw up to 1,200 square feet. There may have been one instance where it was up to 1,500 square feet, but, you know, really that would be about the uppermost limit of anything that I saw anywhere, and most of them are closer to 1,000, 1,200 square feet.
Would the garage be an exception, that say we went for a lower amount of square foot, could they come back if they were going to convert a garage? Would there be a way for them to appeal or apply for like an exception if they were going to do a garage which would have been larger?
There's no
So,
exceptions.
there would not, no, there would be a maximum. That would be the number. I will say that we talked about this a little bit with finished basements as well. If somebody wanted, if, let's say that the footprint of your home was 2,000 square feet, and you wanted to convert the basement into an ADU, we weren't gonna make you chop that up and only have 1,500 square feet. We'd allow you to have that entire floor as an ADU. I would see us probably doing the same thing with these garages, because they're all one footprint. And trying to go in there and limit them to say, oh, well, you can only have half of your attic as an ADU, it would be very difficult to enforce, because chances are they'll come back and finish it out anyway, which to me is kind of logical. I mean, if everything's on one floor.
But even if the 2,000 square foot house, you'd still have a 2,000 square foot ADU. To get it to 1,500, you'd have to chop it up to get it to 1,500.
That's what I'm saying. So what we have in the ordinance is we do have a discussion in there about if it's an unfinished basement and you wish to finish it, then you can do the entire basement. It doesn't have to be chopped up.
But the
Makes no
max,
sense to
but
do
the way it's written, the maximum's still 1,500, right?
The amendments that are in there now specifically call out basements, unfinished basements and attics, and it specifically
Okay.
says that you could occupy the entire space. Garages were a little bit more of a question mark, I guess, is the way that we took them, just because with some detached structures especially, they could end up being much larger, and we just wanted to reinforce that subordinate nature of the size and make sure we weren't, you know, getting into any unintended consequences for the size of some of these.
So if you're going to build a house, Jill,
Yes, sir.
and you know this is in place. I build a house with 2,500 square feet. I'm going to put a basement in, but I'm not going to finish it. I'm building a house. It's 2,500 square feet, got a nice sized lot. I build it with the intent that I'm going to put a 2,500 square foot second living quarters automatically. Isn't that how it will be gamed? But the original zoning will be just for a single-family home.
Yes. Could it be
Is there a
gamed?
time lag between, I build the house, 6 months later after I occupy it, I'm gonna make an ADU of 2,500 square feet then?
Well, no, technically, here's where things get kind of crazy. The zoning ordinance also allows for two-family dwelling units. That can be an over and under. So technically, they don't have to be an accessory dwelling unit. They could be considered a two-family dwelling. So, you know.
I'm
it's
just
not
trying to
really-
understand how this
Yes.
plays out, because there's always, you know, the second or third order unintended consequence that
Right.
gets exploited, and I'm just wondering how much thought you put into that. I've read through it,
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on these things.
This is just one variable too, because if you put his example of 25, I mean, if you increase bedrooms, then this has to go through health department too, right?
Yes, it would have to
So
go
there
through
could be limited, if you're on septic, it could be limited to what you could do by the health department too. So there's another sort of a check and balance.
Yeah.
I think we need it. I think it's fine. I guess I'm more concerned about the square feet, that's all.
So, the square feet, Travis already alluded to the planning commission's philosophy, and we've talked about what they're doing across the state. And I think that the point we want to drive home to this is the reason we're keeping it small is because, number one, it needs to be subordinate. That's the whole point. We don't want it to turn into another separate dwelling unit.
Okay.
That is, other than like a two-family home or a duplex or something like that, because, and the reason we're going this direction is because we're trying to create affordable housing.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a 3,000 square foot area for your parents to live in, that's fine, but that's not an accessory dwelling unit. That's not creating something affordable that when you go to sell it or market it later, it's gonna be sold as a two-family dwelling unit.
Okay, so as I understand it, the basement's treated separately, no real
Yes.
limit. Attics, similarly.
Yeah.
The garage, a person could put up a big 4-car garage and then convert it later or whatever. But what you're really trying to say is, the additional unit that's attached or maybe detached, right?
Could be.
You're saying 1,500 square feet, and that's still very large, and I'd be more comfortable with your first staff recommendation of 1,000 square feet as an additional dwelling unit, okay?
And again, it's not intended to be a full-blown house. That's the point of the accessory dwelling unit, is to
Okay,
create.
I understand it better, okay, thank you.
I have a concern with regards to specifically utilizing basements for accessory dwelling units, and that is egress from them. We build a single-family home, our primary residence, our living area, first floor, second floor, lots of windows, basement, what happens? We either have a walkout or we have a set of stairs that are up and out, perhaps, and that's a concern for me, for the occupants in this accessory dwelling unit, so something to give thought to. The other thing that comes to mind to me is, let's say, for example, I know we have homes in our county that have older homes. They have 100 amp service, and now suddenly we're going to add a second auxiliary dwelling unit or accessory dwelling unit to this home, and we've got 100 amp primary service. That's a concern to me, and I would think that it would be for those who are inspecting these places. So perhaps a necessary upgrade. Additionally, septic. I just see we've got quite a can here that we're opening up, and I'm concerned that I think it's legitimate. I understand the need. I get it, but all concerns of mine. Safety.
And I'll say too, as I kind of reiterated during the public hearing, is, what we're trying to do is set the conditions in place so that somebody under zoning can pursue this type of housing unit. But, we readily admit there's going to be a lot of limiting factors that may not make it possible for certain properties to achieve these, whether that's, utilities, water, sewer, septic, meeting building code requirements for, sprinklers, fire safety walls, those kind of things that they're going to have to meet all that to achieve what the zoning allows. And so we're kind of just setting the table for them, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every one of these properties is going to be able to get it with some of those limiting factors.
Plus, every one of these has to go through the inspection process too with the county, so your 100 amp would have to be increased probably, or rewired in some form or fashion. I mean, I'm sort of on the same page as Commissioner Harvey. I mean, the old style rancher was 900 to 1,000 square feet. The old school rancher, where 5 people lived in, I did it. So I'd be more apt probably to want to limit that a little bit so you don't have a 1,500 square foot rancher sitting behind your 1,500 square foot rancher.
Somewhere in the middle?
Like 1,200 maybe?
electric box coming in, separate account with Public Edison or somebody.
Oh, I'm sure Commissioner Wagner has seen knob and tube wiring, and they still exist.
Yes, in my house.
And sometimes it's better than 100 and 200 amp, too.
And then the banks don't like it, though.
Right.
Exactly.
And insurance will play into that. Your homeowner's insurance will play into
Take care
some
of
of that.
itself.
I'd probably recommend reducing that a little bit, maybe split the difference, 1,200 or something.
Okay,
Let's do that. Because that extra 200 could be another room to help, or a larger kitchen.
I make a motion to approve this 1,200 square foot limit.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Ready to vote? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
thank you, commissioners.
Yep. Next up is character counts, funding request, and October 2025 proclamation.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good to see everybody. And I'm here to remind you that October is National Character Counts Month. And in particular, the week between the 19th and the 25th is Character Counts Week. I'm Carolyn Brooks, and I've been the Director of Character Counts in Washington County. We're in our 27th year. And time flies when you're having a good time with it. But we've had really good support in the community, and we've enjoyed bringing the information to the community that we have through character counts. The coalition was formed in 1998, and it's based on the 6 pillars of character, and that's trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. The coalition includes students. We're partners with the Washington County Public School System and Big Brothers and Big Sisters, for example of some of our partnerships. Over the years, we have focused on random acts of kindness. We try to demonstrate and model how important it is to the community to be kind to one another, speak kindly, act kindly, share things with your community. And so random acts of kindness is a topic that we have promoted and advocated throughout the time that we've been in existence as Character Counts. Gratitude is a big part of Character Counts instruction and materials as well. Being kind, being civil, it's important, and that message is one that we continually try to bring.
What a day for you to make a presentation. Thank you very much.
It was a perfect day, and I just wish the gentleman would have been here to hear what I had to say. We have a monthly newsletter that goes out, and I'm hoping that all of you are receiving that newsletter. And included in the newsletter, we have tips for parents and tips for educators and tips for other folks in the community. We've got a resource library. My office is located in the Martin Luther King Center, the Head Start Center on North Avenue, and we have a resource library there, and anything that anybody wants to use or take, it's free. The supplies that we have are for the community to use, and so please come and take advantage of that library, or come visit me sometime, and I can tell you more about character counts than you'd ever want to know. We still offer a scholarship annually to a student who's going to college or a technical school. And this year's scholarship winner is going to Shepherd. So we've had students go to lots of schools, in-state, out-of-state, technical schools.
How much is the scholarship, if I could ask?
It's a $500 scholarship, and we're always looking for sponsors for that scholarship as well.
We got good news. We have good news for you.
We have good news for you.
Well, we could spring it right now.
We want to do a random act of kindness and spring it upon her.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Whichever one of you want to do that.
Well,
You've requested $3,000, and that's what it's been for a very long time.
Yes.
And it's the judgment of the whole body here that what you do matters so much in trying to foster civility and character that we're going to raise it to $10,000.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
that should help you with
More
maybe an additional scholarship or two.
Yep.
yes.
Now I'm speechless.
And I highly recommend the commissioners be at the award ceremony when you have all
Yes,
the elements.
you have attended.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I have to finish my comments now and gather myself up again. Thank you. I am speechless. Oh, wow.
You earn it and deserve it.
That's going to make a lot of difference in what we're doing. Anyway, okay, so let me get back to what we've got. We do the scholarships. Each year in May, we have an elementary youth celebration where one student from each of the elementary schools is selected, and we bring them together. And during COVID, we had to do it remotely, but in 2022, HCC agreed to host the event, and it truly is a red carpet thing that we invite the parents, we invite the principal of the school, and we recognize the student, and we supply things for them. We give them a T-shirt, and we give them a goodie bag with all kinds of good things in it. But it's a day of celebration for the students, and I know some of you have attended, and I would encourage you, if you haven't been to one of our events, please plan on it. Put May 14th, I think it is this year, or 13th, at HCC, and we'll get more information out to you. I was going to ask for your continued support at this point, but you guys beat me to. I'm flustered now. I'm sorry, but character counts has been a part of my world for so long, and it's a passion project for me, and I really appreciate your
Well,
support.
could we do one more random act of kindness?
Can I take another one?
Can we make $10,000 an annual funding source for you every year for Hero and Ag? Commissioners, would you agree to that?
I second the motion.
Motion to do that with,
Okay, we have
Is
a
there a
motion and a
second?
second. Ready to call for a vote? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye. Keep on talking, you might get more.
As soon as you said scholarships too, that,
Yeah, that's a kicker, yes.
Okay. Thank you. I have nothing else to say. Thank you.
Welcome.
okay.
Okay. First and foremost, how much your program means to our community. So, and mu-
right in the schools.
Absolutely, and much needed. We see the alternative when it doesn't happen.
I know.
Enough said on that. So on behalf of my fellow commissioners, we'd like to present the proclamation, Character Counts Month, October 2025. Whereas young people will be the stewards of our communities, nation, and world in critical times, and the present and future well-being of our society requires an involved, caring citizenry with good character. Good character. Whereas concerns about the character training of children has taken on a new sense of urgency as violence by and against youth threatens the physical and philosophical well-being of the nation. And whereas more than ever, children need strong, constructive guidance from their families and their communities, including schools, youth organizations, religious institutions, and civic groups. And whereas the character of a nation is only as strong as the character of its individual citizens, and the community benefits when young people learn that good character counts in personal relationships, in schools, and in the workplace. And whereas character development is first and foremost an obligation of families through efforts by faith communities, schools, and youth, civic and human service organizations also play an important role in supporting family efforts by fostering and promoting good character. Every adult has the responsibility to promote the development of good character. Now, therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners of Washington County, Maryland, do hereby recognize October 2025 as Character Counts Month and encourage our citizens, schools, businesses, and government to support Washington County Character Counts program. Congratulations. Thank you.
So important to model good behavior. I know. Model good behavior.
Okay, here we go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm really shocked.
Okay, we ready? Item under tab 4, Disability Employment Awareness Month Proclamation. Dave Barnhart, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm Dave Barnhart. I'm the chair of the Disability Awareness Committee for Washington County. And what we're here to do is just have a recognition for National Disability Employment Awareness Month, an annual observance in October that celebrates the contributions of workers with disabilities and raise awareness about disability employment issues. Celebrating value and talent is the theme for this year, and it highlights the important role that people with disabilities play in the American workforce and its economy. The purpose is to celebrate the contributions of American workers, in particular, workers here in the county, with disabilities, and to showcase supportive and inclusive employment policies and practices. So there are a lot of different ways that the community can get involved, and one of them is here today, happening today, and it's greatly appreciated. But they can also, businesses can learn about the value of people with disabilities in the workforce. They can review their own company's disability hiring practices, share success stories on social media, and donate to organizations that promote workforce inclusion for people with disabilities. The final thing is to actually recognize organizations in the county like the ARC of Washington County, the Human Development Council, and Horizon Goodwill that focus on helping those with disabilities seek employment and engage with the community through work. Those efforts help more individuals find value in themselves through work and pride in their inclusion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
We also have a proclamation. Dave. On behalf of my fellow commissioners, I'd like to present this proclamation, Disability Employment Awareness Month, October 2025. Whereas nationally, Disability Employment Awareness Month is an annual recognition of the positive impact of people with disabilities in the American workforce. And whereas persons with disabilities should be offered the opportunity to live and work with dignity, freedom, and economic self-sufficiency. Workplaces that welcome the talents of all people, including people with disabilities, are a critical part of our efforts to build an inclusive community and strong economy. And whereas recognition of the contributions of people with disabilities is an effective way to overcome negative stereotypes and eliminate physical and additional barriers to full participation in all aspects of community life, including education, recreation, and employment. And whereas Washington County is committed to ensuring that programs and employment practices effectively serve and benefit people of all abilities to support individual dignity, self-reliance, and productive lives for all people. Therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners of Washington County, Maryland, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as National Disability Employment Awareness Month and urge all citizens to embrace the talents and skills of people with disabilities and to promote the right to equal employment opportunities for all. Congratulations, Dave. Thanks for all you do. Okay.
It's that same song and dance. Yeah, I gotta follow orders. I can't want to answer you.
Okay, moving right along, we are behind schedule. Under tab 5, bid award PUR 1756, heating, ventilating, air conditioning, and automatic temperature controls, maintenance services, HVAC, ATC at county facilities.
Karen Bickner, buyer in the purchasing department.
Daniel Hickson, Deputy Director of Public Works.
The first recommendation I have is bid award PUR 1756. Move to award the heating, venting, air conditioning, and automatic temperature controls maintenance services contract to the responsible bidder, Mechanical Services Industries of Frederick, Maryland, based on the total lump sum bid of $230,255, based on the total of all quarterly maintenance service locations, hourly rates, and the base bid formula contained in its bid dated September 2nd, 2025. The county sets the percentage markup for repair parts and materials billed at cost plus a percentage at 15%. On September 3rd, 2025, the county accepted bids for the heating, venting, air conditioning, and automatic temperature controls maintenance services at county facilities. The bid notice was listed on the State of Maryland's eMaryland Marketplace Advantage and on the county's electronic bidding platform. 3 persons or companies registered or downloaded the bid document online. 2 bids were received. The contract is a 1-year contract that is to tentatively commence December 1st, 2025 and end November 30th, 2026, with an option by the county to renew for up to 4 additional consecutive 1-year periods. The work to be performed under this contract shall consist of performing quarterly inspections, furnishing all materials, labor, supervision, tools, equipment, permits, and insurance necessary to service all controls and equipment for the HVAC systems for the county office buildings and various locations. The Washington County Health Department and the Washington County Free Library are included in this contract. Funds are budgeted in various departmental budget line item accounts for these services.
I just want to clarify the amount. You said 230,255. Is it 233,255?
233,255.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you. Next item under tab 6 is contract renewal, PUR 1569, uniforms for Washington County Sheriff's officers.
Karen Bickner, buyer in the purchasing department.
Brian Albert, Washington County Sheriff.
The second recommendation I have is a contract renewal for PUR 1569. Move to renew the contract for uniforms for Washington County Sheriff's officers with Galls LLC of Lexington, Kentucky, per the rates included in its letter dated September 19th, 2025. Galls LLC is requesting a 9% increase above the current rates due to increased costs from suppliers and changes to market conditions affecting labor, utility, and shipping costs. The board originally awarded this contract on October 11th, 2022, based on estimated quantities. The contract is for a 1-year period that commenced October 1st, 2022, with an option by the county to renew the contract for up to 5 additional consecutive 1-year periods. This is the third of 5 additional 1-year renewals. Funding is available in the budgets of the various departments.
Any discussion? Motion?
Motion to renew.
Okay, we have a motion and second for renewal as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next item under tab 7, intergovernmental cooperative purchase 25-0210, ground support equipment for the Hagerstown Regional Airport.
Karen Bigner, buyer in the purchasing department.
Neil Doran, Airport Director.
The third recommendation I have is an intergovernmental cooperative purchase, INTG-25-0210. Move to authorize by resolution for the Hagerstown Regional Airport to purchase one new ground power unit in the amount of $91,810.84, one new aircraft towing tractor in the amount of $198,670.42, and two carts totaling the amount of $40,350.19, for the total sum amount of $330,831.45 from Aero Specialties Ground Support Equipment of Boise, Idaho, and to utilize the cooperative contract that was awarded by GSA Advantage Contract Number GS 30F0030X. The airport is requesting to purchase the listed equipment. All these items are standard equipment at airports serving airline traffic. The airport intends to try to sell the aging existing lavatory service card that is being replaced on GovDeals. The Code of Public Laws of Washington County, Maryland, 1-106.3, provides that the Board of County Commissioners may procure goods and services through a contract entered into by another governmental entity in accordance with the terms of the contract, regardless of whether the county was a part to the original contract. The county will benefit from direct cost savings in the purchase of this equipment because of the economies of scale this contract has leveraged. Funds were budgeted and are available in the department's CIP EQP 031.
Hey, Neil, wasn't the tow tractor, didn't we have to borrow one of them several times because ours didn't operate or something?
We've had to borrow the ground power unit, so this way.
Oh, the
we
ground
wouldn't
power,
have to-
okay.
yeah. We have one tractor, this would be the acquisition of a second, which the
Okay.
airline requires to do that on a regular basis.
Neil, do we have a place to store them inside?
We have a shortage of storage space in the terminal area, yes.
So we do not have inside.
Some are designed to be parked outdoors. Others could be
But if they're outdoors, they need to be plugged in
no,
cold weather?
Going to be diesel. Yeah, there might be a heater unit, something like that we could run some power cords to.
Do we have adequate facilities there to plug them in?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 8, bid award, PUR 1768, terminal replacement seating for the Hagerstown Regional Airport.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brandy Kentner, Director of Purchasing.
Neil Doran, Airport Director.
The first recommendation I have for you this morning is the bid award, PUR 1768. The recommended motion to approve the purchase of terminal replacement seating at the Hagerstown Regional Airport to Callis Contractors out of Hagerstown, Maryland, for a total sum cost of $410,500. This approval is also contingent on the final approval of the contract by the County Attorney's Office. The purpose of the contract is to provide for the construction and completion of replacement of fixed airport terminal seating and to increase the number of available seats in the pre-security portion of the terminal. The contractor shall provide all labor, materials, equipment, tools, transportation, and supplies required to complete the work in accordance with the plan, specification, and terms of the contract listed in the bid document. On August 27, 2025, the invitation of bid was posted on the county's new online bidding site, the State of Maryland's eMaryland Marketplace Advantage website. 20 companies accessed the document online, and on September 24th, 2 bids were received, as shown in the bid tabulation attached. Funding is budgeted and available in the department's FY26 approved capital improvement budget as part of the terminal building expansion project, which includes available funding from previous award from FAA and MAA grants.
Another question about used or borrowed or something. Is this have anything, didn't we get seating from another airport? It was old seating. Does this have anything to do with that?
It's the same kind of seating.
Same kind of seating,
It would
but it's
allow
not
us to-
replacing it's replacing the under seating, right?
Yes, even the ones that lasted us for the last couple of years that we went and picked up.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 9, Sole Source Procurement Award, PUR 1776, for Mental Health Case Management Program, Adults and Older Adults.
Brandy Kentner, Director of Purchasing.
Megan Willis, Director of the Day Reporting Center.
The next recommendation I have for you is the Sole Source Procurement Award, PUR 1776. Move to approve a sole source procurement to Potomac Community Services in the amount of $69,866 for a mental health case management program for adults and older adults. This aligns with the Maryland Department of Health Behavioral Health Administration. Supportive and encouraging case management services rendered at the Day Reporting Center are focused on promoting stability and community living and working in Washington County. Participants of the program can receive case management services throughout all phases of the program and participate in aftercare services as needed. The target population for services are individual participants of the Day Reporting Program. However, families reunification is often a component of this vital to the wholeness of the individual. Case management services are delivered in such a way to promote wholeness and healthiness to the entire family. The contract is for a period of 1 year commencing July 1st, 2025, ending June 30th, 2026. The Day Reporting Center wishes to apply Section 1 through 106.2A and 1 of the Code of Public Law of Washington County to this procurement. This section states that sole source procurements are authorized and permissible when only one source exists that meets the county's requirements. This will require 4 out of 5 commissioners' approval to move forward. Funding is available in the amount of $69,886 for this purchase in a grant.
Discussion, motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
5-0. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Wait, you have two different amounts here, 69,866 and 69,886. Does it matter which one is correct?
It's 69,866.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Next item under tab 10, Intergovernmental Cooperative Purchase 25-0211, 4 new 2026 Ford F-550 trucks.
Brandy Kentner, Director of Purchasing.
Zane Rao, Deputy Director of Highways.
The next recommendation is the Intergovernmental Cooperative Purchase, INTG-250211. Move to authorize by resolution for the Highway Department to purchase 3 new 2026 Ford F-550 4x2 trucks in the amount of $92,853 each, and 1 new 2026 Ford F-550 4x4 truck in the amount of $122,780. This is a total sum of $401,339. The purchase we are requesting from Heritage Fleet out of Milford, Delaware. It says Maryland in your ARF. The correction is Delaware. We're also asking to utilize a cooperative contract that was awarded by Howard County. The Highway Department is requesting to purchase 4 new 2026 Ford F-550 trucks to replace 2 2004 model years and 2 2008 model year trucks that exceed the county's vehicle and equipment types usage guidelines. The replaced vehicles will be sold on Gov Deals. The Code of Public Law of Washington County provides that the Board of County Commissioners may procure goods and services through a contract entered into by another government entity as long as we abide by the same terms and conditions of that contract, and we are doing so with this contract. The county will benefit with a direct cost savings in this purchase due to the economies of scale the contract has leveraged, and funding is available in capital improvement budget for the purchase of these vehicles.
Pardon me. Get the specifications that we need, and we went through another government entity which assures we're getting the best possible price for our specifications.
Absolutely, because we're smaller than most of these entities, so the fact that we're using a larger.
So there was a process to assure the best possible price based on our specs.
Absolutely.
Thank
It's
you.
very aggressive pricing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 11 is sole source procurement, 1777, E-Plan software for plan review and permitting department.
Randy Kentner, Director of Purchasing.
Joshua O'Neill, CTO, Information Systems.
The next recommendation I have for you is the sole source procurement, PUR 1777. Move to authorize the purchase of software and technical services in the amount of $104,491.80 from E-Plan Soft out of Irvine, California, for the county's Division of Permits and Inspections, Engineering, and Planning and Zoning. The E-Plan review products for digital review and permitting application reduces the amount of in-person contact associated with the permit review process. The department wishes to apply Section 1 through 106.2 A and 2 of the Code of Public Laws of Washington County to this procurement. This section states that the sole source procurement is authorized and permissible when the compatibility of equipment, accessories, or replacement parts is paramount to the consideration, and that is the case for this software. This request does require 4 out of 5 commissioners to proceed. Funding is available in the software budget as set aside.
Discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, 5-0. Next item under tab 12, intergovernmental cooperative purchase 25-0212, lease for one 4K water truck with new 2026 Freightliner M2106 for the Department of Solid Waste.
Randy Kentner, Director of Purchasing.
Dave Mason, Solid Waste.
The next recommendation is the intergovernmental cooperative purchase, INTG-250212. Motion is to authorize by resolution the Department of Solid Waste to lease one 4K water truck from Caterpillar Financial Services with the annual payment in the amount of $54,997.10 for the total finance sum of $219,988.40. We're also going to be utilizing a cooperative contract awarded by Sourcewell to Caterpillar. The final approval is contingent upon the leasing agreement once we do receive the vehicle. The Code of Public Laws of Washington County provides that the Board of County Commissioners may procure goods and services through a contract entered into by another government entity as long as we abide by the same terms and conditions of the contract. And there is a cost savings due to the economies of scale. The contract has leverage, just as Jeff said. It's a very beneficial contract for us to piggyback. The Department's 2003 International Water Truck with 10,342 miles meets the county's replacement policy for vehicles and equipment for the number of years it has been in service. The age of the truck has caused the deterioration of piping, hoses, pumps, and other critical parts, which justifies replacement. The existing water truck will be sold on Gov Deals once the new truck is delivered. This water truck is used by the department for dust control, filling the wheel wash station, and fire suppression at the 40 West landfill. Funding is available in the department's operating budget for this purchase, this lease.
So it's really just for the landfill, correct? And what does one cost to purchase it new?
I think what was about $205,000?
Because this is a lease for 4 years, we're paying $54,000 a year.
Right.
And they're responsible for all the maintenance and everything during that period, or are we responsible?
No, we're responsible for the maintenance.
And so we're gonna spend $220,000 for 4 years, and then it goes back to them.
No, we will, the lease is gonna be set up so we can purchase it once the lease is over.
Oh, it's a lease to own?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of our leases at the end, we can purchase the equipment for $1.
That is the
Okay.
intent, to purchase it.
I
when
missed that part.
Sorry, I didn't say that. I should have added that.
Have you ever used this equipment to assist Division of Emergency Services?
Only on our site,
Okay.
when we're on, we have our own issues, but that's probably something that can be discussed in the future if it's needed somewhere. It will be roadworthy, it will be registered, license plates and everything.
Well, the only place that, I mean, I'm thinking of some of our forest fires where we've had problems getting water out. So.
The issue becomes accessibility, whether bridges are capable of carrying the weight of that freight liner, 4,000 gallons, right?
Right.
So, nice to have the water, but there are times that you're just space and
That's
and
an
infrastructure
operational
limited, but
operation, but getting the court, them together to think through how it might be able to be applicable. Okay, I motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Next item, under tab 13, intergovernmental cooperative purchase, 25-0213, tennis court resurfacing for 11 Washington County locations.
Randy Kentner, Director of Purchasing.
Andrew Eshelman, Director of Public Works.
The next recommendation is an intergovernmental cooperative purchase, INTG 25-0213. Move to authorize by resolution for the Parks Department to purchase materials and services for the resurfacing of 11 tennis courts throughout Washington County for a total cost of $1,323,317.71 from Keystone Sports Construction of Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. We'll also be utilizing the Edge Market Cooperative Contract for this. The services include site work, preparation, supply, and installation of Nova acrylic color coat system for the repaving, reconstruction, and resurfacing of the tennis courts throughout Washington County. The Code of Public Laws of Washington County provides that the Board of County Commissioners may procure goods and services through a contract entered into by another government entity as long as we abide by the same terms and conditions of that contract. Again, we have leveraged a savings by utilizing this contract. Funds are budgeted in the department's capital improvement budget for hardcore playing services.
So there's a reimbursement, so we could get some of that money back, right?
Correct. So if you recall, the commissioners supported the U.S. Tennis Association grant application, and so for the courts that fall under that eligibility, there'll be a 50% cost share. I believe it's around $330,000, and so the remaining amount, 50% share, plus the courts that aren't falling under that grant application would be 100% county share.
Yeah, the estimated cost for the county is $989,590.02, as noted in the report.
So for the 11 courts, how often do you have to resurface them?
So some of them are getting a resurfacing, which is about every 7 to 10 years. Some of the other courts that are more deteriorated are getting a bill, an overlay, plus a resurfacing. So you'll see in the packet which ones are outlined for different treatments.
Okay, and is there an annual operational cost for keeping these up? And
Yes, there is. I mean, the resurfacing is the major one, and one of the later items we'll get into the joint use agreement with the schools, talk about how some of those responsibilities are going to be shifting. But presently, all the courts in here are under the maintenance responsibility of the county.
Okay.
Andrew, are there signs at the various locations letting the public know that they are available to their use outside of school hours, or you're not sure? Or is
I'm not sure at all the locations. I know many are used by the public. Some are more popular than others. But when they're not used by the schools, they're available. I know North High is one that you see a lot of people on 11 that use that court even during school hours.
Just want to be certain that the public knows they're available to them specific times.
Yes, yes.
this isn't directly related, but I just want to make a point that this is something the county does to support a wide range of different groups and individuals that, you know, want to participate in different types of sport activities. This is tennis, but there's also, you know, baseball and softball and, you know, the parks and recreation and the swimming pool that takes some money. I just want to just hammer home a point that our public golf course costs us about $150,000 a year total. Everything else is self-generated and funded, and it would almost cost just as much to shut it down if we were even legally allowed to operate, to maintain that property for on an annual basis. So, you know, we've got some criticisms once in a while from people about the public course, but, you know, it serves the community, a wide swath of the community, and it doesn't cost us very much money.
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 14, intergovernmental cooperative purchase 25-0214, one Pierce Enforcer pumper for the Division of Emergency Services.
Randy Kentner, Director of Purchasing.
Eric Jacobs, Assistant Director, Emergency Service.
The last recommendation I have for you this morning is an intergovernmental cooperative purchase, INTG-25-0214. Move to authorize by resolution for the purchase of one Pierce Enforcer pumper truck to Atlantic Emergency Solutions out of Manassas, Virginia, for a total of $1,026,542. We will also be using another cooperative, which is the Houston Galveston Area Council Cooperative that was awarded to Atlantic Emergency Solutions. The addition of this unit will provide essential reserve capacity for the county's emergency operations. The existing fleet of 3 units is currently overextended, often resulting in limited availability when equipment is required for response, maintenance rotation, or unforeseen incidents. The lack of reserve coverage can negatively impact operational readiness and response efficiency during peak demand periods or simultaneous emergencies. Establishing an additional reserve unit will enhance reliability, ensure continuity of service, and improve the division's ability to maintain adequate coverage across all areas of the county. Furthermore, this measure supports the long-term sustainability by reducing wear on frontline units and extending their operational lifespan. The Code of Public Law of Washington County provides that the Board of County Commissioners may procure goods and services through a contract entered into by another government entity, as long as we abide by the same terms and conditions of that contract. And again, there is a direct cost savings with utilizing this cooperative due to the economies of scale the contract has leveraged. Funding is available in the department's capital improvement program for the purchase.
How many of these do we have?
Currently, 3.
30, okay.
3.
Oh, 3?
3.
Oh, okay, 3. And $1 million. How long have we known we're going to be purchasing one, needing one?
Can you repeat that?
How long, this is regularly programmed, right? We on a schedule to replace these, or is this in addition to the fleet?
This is in addition to the fleet.
Okay.
Eric, the Enforcer model, is that the top of the line, Pierce?
It is not. So the Enforcer is identical to the 3 that we currently have. The top of the line is the Velocity.
Velocity, okay. And what is the significant difference?
I think it's more features.
Okay.
With the Velocity, you get an extended cab. I mean, we have those options as well, but they come with the cost.
I understand. Is there anything to do with the building materials or stainless steel or none of that?
No, sir.
Okay. And we can expect how many years of service, do you think, under normal?
15 to 20.
Really?
That's good. Okay, motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. As submitted, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 15, revisions to the current bylaws for the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jamie Dick, Deputy Public Works Director, Parks and Recreation.
Andrew Eshelman, Director of Public Works.
We're here today to propose revisions to the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board bylaws. The current bylaws for the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board are outdated due to numerous issues, namely that many of the objectives and purposes are based off the board's ability to acquire real property for park and recreation facilities, as well as revisions to address inconsistencies and practical concerns in regard to membership, mandatory timelines for meeting agendas. Per the current proposed bylaws, the BOCC has the authority to amend said bylaws. Many of the objectives and purposes are rooted in CPLL Section 1-602. which allows property acquired by the BOCC to be turned over to the Rec and Parks Board. While local law allows Rec and Parks Boards to own and control real and personal property relevant to the Parks and Rec program's mechanism power has never been utilized and no Parks and Rec facility has been deeded to the Rec and Parks Board. It is advised by the bylaws revisions be adopted as they are inconsistent with the Rec and Park Board's actual role as more of an advisory than managerial, while remaining consistent with the relevant sections of the CPLL.
Okay. Any comments, questions?
Motion to approve.
Okay, simple. Motion for second, motion and a second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
5-0.
Thank you.
I want to thank Zach and Rosie for working with us on that. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 16, excuse me, joint use agreement for the rehabilitation and resurfacing of public tennis courts in the county. Is that a,
Yes, that's correct.
okay?
Yes.
So we have it again?
Well, this is the
It-
joint use agreement. We
Okay.
approved the contract for the actual resurfacing, so.
Okay.
Andrew Eshelman, Director of Public Works.
Aaron Weiss, Assistant County Attorney.
So yes, we are seeking a motion to approve and execute the joint use agreement with WCPS. The current agreement that we have on file expired January 26, 2024, and that was between the Board of Education and the county commissioners. And so we were working with the school board on a new agreement, which is presented. There's some differences in the new agreement, and so what we looked to do was, presently, a lot of the courts, as you mentioned in the prior approval, once they're due for maintenance, that's the county's responsibility. So we looked at the courts across the county. There's a lot of courts at some of these facilities, and that's because those schools have varsity tennis programs. So what this does is look at the courts that are at schools with varsity tennis programs. The county is going to fulfill our obligation to rehabilitate those courts. Once that work is done, then those courts shift over to the schools. They'll remain open to the public for use. There's two courts, locations Hancock and Western Heights, that are underutilized on school properties that don't have programs. Those will be under the county, and so we can put some improvements in those facilities and make those accessible to the public. So that's more or less the overview, and the schools have already reviewed it and signed the document. Is there anything you want to add?
No, it is ready for approval if the commissioners are in agreement.
School boards,
They've already signed, yes.
motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, motion is second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Andrew, a question for you. Any of these courts, with the advent of pickleball, are they universal, or is there?
So, yes, that was one of the main points of discussion, because pickleball, as you know, is very popular. So one of the conditions of the U.S. Tennis Association grant was that they, to no surprise, they do not want pickleball in those courts, but they want youth tennis lines. So that kind of supports the youth program and development at the schools. So the school sites, they're comfortable with continuing with the tennis-only lines. The county parks courts will have the pickleball lines, and it kind of remains to be seen what we end up doing at Hancock and Western Heights.
Okay.
So yes, we'll have both offerings for the public.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 17, recognition of Manufacturing Month, October 2025. Good morning, Linda.
Linda Spence, Department of Business and Economic Development. I'm here today at this time to talk about Manufacturing Month for the month of October. I have two videos for you to view. Manufacturing Month videos are designed to showcase the diversity and innovation of the manufacturing industry in Washington County. Each video highlights different sectors of manufacturing and challenges the traditional perception of greasy floors and dingy surroundings by featuring advanced technologies, clean facilities, and modern practices. The goal is to emphasize the wide range of local opportunities available and to highlight the positive contributions of this sector to our community. And if we could have the tape rolled.
Beachley Furniture Company, we've been around since 1887. It was started by Ezra Beachley, the Beachley family here in Hagerstown. Over the years, we primarily residential history, up to about 13, 14 years ago, where we kind of exited that residential market, got into the commercial high-end market. We actually purchased Cavetown Planing Mill, another local company. It's been great for us. We're all under one roof now, manufacturing here in the city. Our main client and customer are the design and architecture community. So we partner with them, we work with them. Essentially, we let them create and design the pieces they want for this individual space, and then we essentially bring that to life. So when we get an order in-house, we have a full-blown drawing department. We will recreate our shop drawings. We go in the field, we take measurements, any kind of radius structure. We have a laser, we laser map walls. Bring that back, apply it to our drawings, and then drawings hit the floor and magic begins. So in the last few months, we're doing projects with Johns Hopkins. They're building a new medical campus. We've done a lot of work with M&T Bank Stadium, the Baltimore Ravens. They're redoing all their VIP suites and their Blackwing suites. We do a lot of high-end hotels. We do a lot of high-end restaurant work. It's really difficult to find upholsterers, sewers, people who can fabricate cushions, spring up. That's just not something that the industry's not around, at least in this area.
It's very common for us to bring in people with very little upholstery experience, since it is such a dying art. But you want somebody is dependable, is going to work hard, has some degree of imagination.
Primarily with the positions in the upholstery department, they're so unique in this area that it's really an apprenticeship. We're looking for someone who's willing to learn. You can have years into training someone up, so it's an investment for us.
My name is Mauro Garlock. I am the president and owner of the DVF Corporation. Our company was founded in 1995. We started at the Hagerstown Community College at the Small Business Incubator Program. I started working with DVF shortly after it started, part-time. Just recently in the past year, Jay and I have been speaking about his future plans, and we decided that it would be best for both of us if I purchased the business, which allowed him to retire and be a consultant. I typically describe us as industrial problem solvers. We specialize in factory automation and manufacturing support. Our projects range from robotic assembly systems to specialized medical equipment that's used in labs throughout the world. A lot of our technicians come to us with little or no manufacturing experience. We provide on-the-job training in CNC programming, milling, turning, as well as conventional machine shop operations. And even our engineers that we hire, most of them, we have them on the floor machining parts and doing all that, so they learn every aspect of the company. They can do everything from design work to manufacturing to assembling and debugging equipment. We're fortunate that most of our customers are based here in Washington County, so it keeps us local. We don't have to travel far, and it allows us to support those customers.
I must say that the businesses that we have visited are very grateful and are proud of what they do in Washington County, and we're proud of them too. Washington County is the cornerstone of manufacturing. We do $1.1 billion in gross domestic product from manufacturers here. So that's all of my presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 18 is adoption of resolution to extend foreign trade zone number 255S service area.
Jonathan Horowitz, the Director of the Department of Business and Economic Development.
Linda Spence, Department of Business and Economic Development. We're here today to have approval for a resolution that proposes allowing up to 250 acres of foreign trade zones number 255 allotment to be used by businesses from outside of the county. A 5-year sunset period is recommended, giving the county time to measure results and adjust if needed. Before the period ends, FTZ 255 Administrator, of which I am the Administrator, will present findings and recommendations to the Board of County Commissioners. This approval not only prioritizes Washington County residents, but also opens the door to new partnerships that can bring jobs, attract investment, and strengthen our position as a hub for trade and economic growth.
Any questions?
I'd motion to approve as presented with, as presented, yeah.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Ready to vote? Okay, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next item under tab 19 is Vixen Hollow Program Open Space Stateside Easement. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Boggs, Rural Preservation Administrator, Department of Planning and Zoning. This morning I bring to you the Vixen Hollow LLC Program Open Space Stateside Easement Project. Vixen Hollow LLC is a property located at 13030 Bickle Road in Smithsburg. And the easement itself will permanently preserve a valuable equestrian, scenic, and environmental property in the county. It contains pasture land and woodland and is of significant ecological value to the Little Antietam Creek as the creek traverses the northern portion of the property. 7 development rights are extinguished with this easement. This program Open Space Stateside program is it probably sounds a little new to you as this is the first one that we're administering locally here at the county. There are 4 or 5 other easements through this program that have been administered by the state Department of Natural Resources. But earlier this year, I made a proposal to them that I can take over administering the program for them and hoping that it will result in more Washington County farms being preserved through the program and its funding. Just like CREP or Rural Legacy, the program is funded by DNR and Program Open Space Stateside are 100% state dollars. They do also include the 3% administrative value and the 1.5% compliance and monitoring costs that are given to the county after the easement's in place. Additionally, DNR will cover all costs for settlement, legal things that are associated with the easement itself. Let's see, DNR, of course, approves our administration of the program, and if the county rejects the state funds, they'll be allocated to other counties in the state. So the recommended motion would be to approve the Vixen Hollow project in the amount of $321,552 over 47.79 easement acres.
Chris, that program open stateside you say that's the first time we've done that, right?
Well, it's the first time that we've administered it locally. There are, I believe, 4 or 5 existing program open space stateside easements in the county.
And we just didn't administer them.
Generally, what I do is in the past, I have targeted certain properties saying, hey, this would be a good program open space stateside easement. And I would send those down to DNR, and then they would kind of take it from there.
Is there enough beneficial enough for you administrating to maybe get more farms on board?
Well, that's the plan. So this is a little unique. It relies on what the state classifies as targeted ecological areas. So it's looking for properties that, again, like this has the Little Antietam Creek, or properties that are, you know, more woodland, or have, you know, some sort of maybe a endangered species or something like that. So while it is, you know, generally it's a land preservation program, its focus is more on ecology, environmental, natural resources as opposed to agriculture. But yeah, it's the goal here is to just provide an additional program. You know, as the local liaison, I have a better reach for our local landowners than someone down in Annapolis does.
Would you, we provided an extra 1.5 million and then this year 1 million for the ag preservation program.
Yes.
Would you give us some thoughts in the future about how this program might be assisted by the county itself?
Sure, absolutely.
To give it a little boost?
Yep, no, and, you know, again, you know, in that situation, DNR, of course, would be happy to, you know, do some sort of, you know, team up with funding, you know, and that, of course, always helps. That always helps. It makes us look better in their eyes.
As well, correct?
Yeah.
We're putting stake in the game with this.
Exactly. And again, we have, in my yearly annual reports, it always asks, you know, how has the county leveraged funds in order to aid the program, so.
And if you're not aiding and assisting, they are less inclined?
Correct. Yeah, generally, you know, if we put up funding to leverage their programs, you know, they'll respond in kind.
Okay, good. So if you could get back to us on that.
Before we go, when we say yes here, this 47 acres, what's the total permanently, I ask every time.
Yeah. So right now, we are at 42,795 acres total of permanently preserved land in Washington County.
And probably 100,000 with easements of some kind on them.
Well, no, 42,795, and then you look at, you know, probably over 100,000 of protected land, whether it be parkland, state-owned land, in addition to that, yeah.
Okay, more work to do. Thank you.
There always is.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Ready to vote? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0.
Hey, Chris, approximately 300,000 acres in Washington County.
And about
So we have one third of the land in Washington County is preserved.
Yep.
Whoa. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next up, under tab 21, Washington County Opioid Restitution Fund. Maria, good morning.
Okay, Maria Kramer, Director of the Office of Grant Management. I'm here today to seek approval for submission of the Washington County Opioid Abatement Plan to the Maryland Office of Opioid Response for their review and subsequent approval. The county's local abatement plan submission includes 12 projects that will be funded with the county's targeted abatement funds. This plan is a 5-year abatement plan and requires yearly monitoring and reporting to the Maryland Office of Opioid Response to ensure funds are being spent according to the published guidelines. Projects included in the local abatement plan submission are as follows: school-based prevention programs in partnership with Washington County Public Schools, community-wide media campaign, support for community evidence-based treatment and recovery programs, facilitation of awareness events and town halls, expanded naloxone education and distribution through EMS, targeted treatment for incarcerated population, increased education and training for first responders, hiring of an opioid restitution fund manager, support for community organization prevention programs aimed at children and families, development of dashboard for tracking and reporting use of funds, increased coordination of countywide organizations and agencies to prevent duplication of services, ongoing monitoring, reporting on programs and initiatives funded through the abatement plan. Fiscal impact for the county, state approval of the local abatement plan will allow the county to spend the targeted abatement funds on approved projects.
Just a quick question. How do you determine what percentage of the money goes to each category? How does that determine?
When we report, if you guys approve today, this then has to get sent into more, and we do have to percentage out how much we'd spend on each.
And you have a plan to determine how much of the need for each category needs presented, or?
Yes.
Percentage-wise, yeah?
Yes.
And if you monitor any of the above, if we approve it, they can be moved off the list if they're not following guidelines.
Correct. It is a 5-year plan. So what happens is we send this in, they approve it. 5 years, things can change, so there can be some shifting, but if you shift anything, it still has to remain within the parameters of what the state provides you as allowable uses. So we would be monitoring to assure that anybody that gets any of the funds or any of the funds that the county would use, we do have to provide, when I send in these 12 programs, it's not just saying what they are. I have to provide key metrics, performance measures, and ways in which we will, so that's how they will look at it each year when we report. If we say we're going to have this many town halls, we have to have that many town halls. If we're going to use surveys, we actually have to have the surveys and report the background.
Does the state have a say in how much we pay a coordinator?
No. It's going to be, I've already actually created a job description and sent it up to HR for them to look at, and it'll be within line with what my department pays for grant managers.
Okay, that's why I didn't want some really high inflated salary, take away some of the money. So.
No, absolutely not, and we can pay a certain percentage, and as we move forward with other funds, they'll manage some of those funds as well, so there'll be a percentage of the salary that'll go to this and the percentage that'll go to another of the funds that will come through these programs.
This also requires us to approve an ordinance. Will that be brought back at a later date?
Yes, the ordinance is drafted and can be brought back once Maria has approval to submit the plan, so they can kind of take parallel tracks and.
Okay, so we'll bring that back on the 21st.
Yep.
Right, so what will happen if you approve today, I will then finish everything I have to put into the state plan guidelines. I will submit it to them. They will let us know if the plan is approved or not, or if we need any changes, if I have to come back and say, these are the things they're requesting. I have spent an enormous amount of time on the phone calls with the staff from Moore in terms of just helping make sure we're stepping through the process in the correct way.
Okay, motion to approve the submission.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you.
Maria,
Thank
you're
you,
doing
Maria.
great work. Thank you.
Thank you kindly, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, under tab 22, budget adjustment for office support in the treasurer's office. Chip, good morning.
Good morning. Chip Rose, Director of Human Resources. Staff is seeking approval to make a budget adjustment to provide office support in the treasurer's office through the end of the calendar year. The total cost should remain under $25,000. One of our deputy treasurers will be on medical leave for the next 4 to 6 weeks and will likely require work that's abbreviated once she returns, probably for the rest of the calendar year. Each year, the treasurer's office hires 4 to 5 part-time employees to help with the peak summer volume of citizens paying taxes. One of those part-time employees has volunteered to work up to 25 hours if we could use the help. Since she's already trained and familiar with the office, the treasurer is requesting a budget adjustment to extend her support through December. The other 15 hours or so will need to be covered by the existing deputy treasurer, Sarah Carrera, and the now acting deputy treasurer, which is Terry Yonker. It will likely result in 5 to 8 hours of overtime for each one of those two employees. And again, the overall cost of this would remain under $25,000.
Questions, discussion?
This is fine from my perspective, but do we need to approve additional overtime so that they can address things like, the large number of people that have been delayed in getting their property tax rebates that qualify on the low-income property tax rebate? Is this tied to that? Or-
No, this is not tied to that. That is a managerial issue, I believe.
Okay, because it's unfortunate if people aren't getting timely reimbursements for things that they qualify for when they're low-income people. They need the money, so. Okay, I recommend approval on this.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. Ready to vote? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you. Next item under tab 23, pretreatment coordinator. Chip, you're up again.
Rose, Director of Human Resources. Staff is seeking approval to extend an offer for position number 979. This is the pre-treatment coordinator. We'd like to offer it to Javier Mercado. The offer is a grade 13, step 1, at a salary of $65,437 per year. The vacancy is due to the resignation of Joe Sutton. Javier was hired in January of 2024. He has a bachelor's degree. He passed both the T4 and the W5 license exams in his first 2 years of employment, which is impressive, if you're not familiar. He interviewed very well and will be an asset in this position.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, ready to vote? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you. Next item under tab 24, team building budget and work boot reimbursements in FY 2026.
Chip Rose, Director of Human Resources.
Kelsey Mace, Chief Financial Officer.
Staff is seeking approval to restore funding for the team building and boot reimbursements in fiscal year 2026. The total cost of this recommendation was roughly $40,000. Last year's directors had a budget of $25 per employee for team building and up to $125 for work and safety boots. The budget for these funds was eliminated for fiscal year 2026. It was just a challenging budget year. The leaders have asked us to reconsider even partial funding just for helping with employee morale. Due to their CBA, the boot reimbursements for the AFSCME employees are already included in the fiscal year 26 budget. We estimate roughly 125 non-represented employees will need boot reimbursements to perform their job, which amounts to roughly $15,625 at $125 per reimbursement. Based on our current full-time position count, it would cost roughly $24,250 to reinstate the team building budget. In total, this team building budget would be $24,000. The work boot budget would be roughly between $15,000 and $16,000, and the total would again be under $40,000. Staff could repurpose budget dollars that were set aside for the Time to Care Act premiums, which was delayed for this year, to offset these costs.
I'd just like to amend the motion to, instead of say roughly 40,000, to say 39,875.
I'll make a motion to restore funding for that program.
Second.
We have a motion and second for restoration of the program. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0.
Very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item under tab 25, Adult Public Guardianship Review Board appointments. Dawn?
Good afternoon. Dawn Marcus, County Clerk. On behalf of the Adult Public Guardianship Review Board, I have 4 requests to present individually today. I am requesting a motion to appoint Thomas Waldron to serve a first full 3-year term from November 1st of 2025 through September 30th of 2028 as a psychiatrist representative.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you.
I am requesting a motion to appoint Laurie Beth Batorin to serve a partial term through March 31st of 2027 as a community representative.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0.
I am requesting a motion to appoint Shanna Matthews to serve a first full 3-year term from September 1st of 2025 through August 31st of 2028 as the Department of Social Services professional representative.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0.
I am requesting a motion to reappoint Diane Lewis to serve a 4th full 3-year term from July 1st of 2025 through June 30th of 2028 as a local nonprofit representative. The board also requests a waiver of the 2-term limit as outlined in the Boards and Commissions County Policy PR 22.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. That includes the waiver. For clarification, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all that I have.
Okay. Last item on the open agenda is under tab 26, county tax abatement for real estate tax bills 2025, 4919, 4918, 4917, and 3736, Hagerstown Multi-Use Sports and Events Facility, AKA Meredith Park.
Thank you. I'd like to ask for the approval to abate the county portion of the principal and interest for real estate tax bills 2025, 4919, 4918, 4917, 4500, and 3736 in the amount of $194,323.90. The principal portion of that is $183,324.45 for customer 326178, which is the Hagerstown Multi-Use Sports and Events Facility, also known as Meredith Park. Senate Bill 596 for the 2025 legislative session was approved. This bill exempts property owned by the Hagerstown Multi-Use Sports and Events Facility from property tax if it is used primarily for public, social, recreational, and entertainment purposes. This bill took effect on June the 1st of 2025, and it also provides a provision to enable the counties to look at their prior year bills. There is 1 year of outstanding tax bills for 2025. I recommend that we fund this by reductions and transfers to the capital fund.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, 5-0. Thank you. With that, I'll ask for a motion to go into closed session for the following reasons. Discuss confidential personnel matters, to consult with counsel, and to discuss the development of fire and rescue services.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, 5-0. And let's take a